and welcome to the most listened to Australian golf podcast. This is Talk Birdie To Me, and it's week 22 of the golfing year. We're live from the Australian Golf Centre, home of Golf Australia and the PGA of Australia. And if you haven't downloaded the new Watch My Numbers app, it's the most powerful database golf app in the world. You can download it from the App Store or Google Play and play smarter by using your data. And thanks to the team at Ping, they'll help you play your best, just like they have for Nick O'Hearn's entire career. You can see your local golf shop or professional and arrange a Ping club fitting. You won't regret it. And if you haven't joined the membership club GCO Live at the Golf Clearance Outlet, well, give yourself an uppercut. Join before the end of May and score 20 grand worth of golf equipment gear. Check them out at golfclearanceoutlet.com.au. Now, former world number 16 Nick O'Hearn and former tour pro Mark Allen. This is Talk Birdie To Me.
Well, Nick, I've never started the show like this, but my God, after 2 rounds, the Colonial took everybody, all our breath away with the news of Grayson Murray. I mean, I've never even, don't worry about golf, I don't think I've ever seen that before in sport.
No, certainly. It's a tough one. It's been a rough few days for everyone on the PGA Tour when they woke up to the news that Friday evening, I think it was, where Grayson took his own life. So
hard to believe. Yeah, and look, that news is out. They tried to keep it close to their chest there for a long time, but eventually it was going to. I know Justin Rose basically, in a tweet, let people know that there had been a situation where he'd taken his own life,
Yeah, and he had some mental health issues in the past, alcoholism, things like that, which he had been treated for and was on his way back. He won the Sony Open earlier in the year.
That's right.
But again, golf results don't mean anything really, and I think he had by the sounds of it, wasn't having a great day Friday.
But you 5 over par. He bogeyed 14, 15 and 16.
Yeah, and then he didn't play the last 2 holes. I'm not sure why.
Yeah. Look, some people are saying that he withdrew. I've actually seen things where others are saying that he was taken from the golf course, such was his state of mind at that point.
Really? Wow.
So those details will come out.
Okay.
They will come out down the track and we'll know more. But we don't want to back over it too much because it was something, like I said before, we've just never seen that in sport before.
No. And thoughts and prayers go out to the family and friends.
And if you're listening to this and you've got any dramas, you don't have to go it alone. You can talk to Beyond Blue. You can talk to Lifeline. Lifeline's number is 13 11 14. So please reach out if you do need a hand.
Good on you, Dan. Another situation during the week took our breath away. And this has got everything to do with this wonderful game. A young lady called Eden Campbell, 11 years old. She plays golf at Coffs Harbour Golf Club. It was in the news. It was on the TV. It's been in the papers.
Saw it and it just baffled me.
I saw her golf swing. She's got one of
beautiful
the most beautiful little golf swings you'd ever seen in your whole life. Loves the game. And this golf club, Coffs Harbour, have said that, you can't play in the comp, young lady. It doesn't matter whether you're a guest of your father and your grandfather who are members of the golf course. You cannot come down and play in our comp. I've never seen anything so stupid in my entire life.
And that was because of a handicap restriction?
Yes.
Correct?
So if you're a cadet member, you need to have a lower handicap. But see, that's the great thing about golf. And this is what people don't understand.
That's what handicaps are for.
That's exactly what separates golf from every other game in the whole world, is that Eden Campbell can play against Nick O'Hearn at his very best and compete and possibly on a good day beat Nick O'Hearn because of handicaps.
Absolutely. And we're going to have a bonus pod later this week with Todd Woodbridge. And I want to ask him that question, or maybe you can. If you played a tennis match against someone, how would they fare? I mean, because there's no handicaps in tennis.
That's a really good question. I'm looking forward to getting Todd in here a little bit later. So what do we do? I mean, you and I have spoken to Golf Australia. They didn't want to say too much more. And the situation is Golf Australia has jurisdiction here in Victoria and South Australia and Tasmania. They don't so much in Western Australia and New South Wales. Golf Australia have spoken to the club. They've let the club know that this is not the direction that they envision this game playing out.
Rightly so.
Rightly so. But I've got a message for Coffs Harbour Golf Club. Get your head out of your arse. It's as simple as that. You've got 2 members willing to take a young lady down there. I don't care what her age is. I don't care what her handicap is.
I think her father's a member, her grandfather's a member.
They understand golf. They'll look after it. There's no pace of play. If there's room on the sheet and you're allowed to bring guests, then surely this young lady can come down and enjoy a game of golf. And it's something she wants to do, Nick. This is the crazy thing. You know, it's easy to get boys in the game. You know, if you're slow at sport, golf's your game. Jump in. This is you. You are welcome. And you know, there's that many players who are slow at their chosen sport, team sport, who are playing golf. It's not funny. But girls, it's a different story. To get them into the game is really difficult. And here's a situation. We've got this beautiful young lady who swings the club like a star. Handicap's 30. You know, when I was 11 years old, I don't think I was breaking 100 either.
Yeah, it baffles me. The only other club I've ever heard a rule like this was a friend of mine when I was living in the US. His wife was a member at Sunningdale.
Right.
She was a good player.
Right.
Played off 7 or 8.
Yeah.
And he was off about 22-ish.
Right.
And he said, I can't join Sunningdale.
That's right.
I said, why not? He said, well, you have to be on a 14 handicap or lower. I said,
right.
You have got to be kidding me, because I've played Sunningdale, and I can tell you now, there are people playing that golf course that are not off a 14 handicap or less, and it doesn't really matter because it's a wonderful golf course, and you just want to enjoy yourself out there.
It's funny about Sunningdale because that is a fair dinkum rule.
Yeah.
You have to, when you join the club, you've got to be on 14 or less. If you actually go out to 30, that's okay.
That's okay?
Because their thinking is, at Sunningdale, is that if you get the 14 or less, you're a very good player and you understand the game and you understand how to get around a golf course. And once you get that understanding, then you keep that understanding for life. You understand golf. And that's, you know, one of the quirks of being a member at Sunningdale. But my God, if you've played Sunningdale, I have too. It is one of the greatest golf experiences I've ever had in my life. Yep. I put it so high up on the list.
And they have, you know, we always talk about the 9-hole, you know, whatever, you have your party pie, but they have a little sausage roll. No, it's not a sausage roll, but they put a sausage in a bit of bread there with some onion, and it is something like that. It's one of the best meals you'll ever have on a golf course. I will have that, Dan, by the way.
Yeah. Do you know the other thing about Eden, this young girl at Coffs Harbour? My understanding from the Golf Australia conversation is that the family have done everything they can to remove obstacles. And one of the obstacles, if she's off a handicap of mid-30s or wherever it is, that might slow down the competition. And my understanding is the family took steps to address that, right?
Yeah, they said they'll take the last tee time if necessary, so that there's no one behind them to slow them up. So I wonder, because you mentioned earlier, it was 25 or less for the cadets. Is that for every member, or is it just cadets?
Just cadets.
Yeah, see, that's crazy. We want to encourage people to play this game for their life, and the only way to do that is to allow them to play early on.
You know, if the cadets were all playing by themselves, a group of cadets, 12 under,
that could be an issue, sure.
Then I understand that. But when you have a cadet with an Australian handicap and a swing like that, and they are playing with other members who understand the caper and understand the game, then this is a silly, silly situation.
It's like getting your learners and your driving.
Right.
You go out with a qualified instructor and away you go.
That's it. And at some stage, you've got to get out. You've actually got to get on the road. You can't just read the learner's book and drive. You actually got to get out there. And when you've got good people around you, nursing you through, helping you out, telling you when to pick up the ball, you're in the middle of having a 13, pick it up, Eden, pick that one up. Let's move to the next tee. There's nothing wrong with that.
I don't think she makes 13s with that golf swing though. She makes a lot of pars and bogeys, I would say. That handicap's going to come down so quickly.
You know what I'd do? If I'm in the Coffs Harbour area and I'm one of the other courses, I can see how good she's going to be. I'm poaching her.
A little poaching.
I'm going to go get Eden right now. I'm going to bring her across.
Oh, chisel away.
And then Eden will play pennant against Coffs Harbour for the rest of her amateur days and just towel them up. And that would be fabulous. Anyway, anyone from Coffs Harbour, particularly anyone on committee there, hey, pull your head out of your arse and let Eden play in the comp with her parents. It's no big deal. You're embarrassing the rest of the country.
I can't see how Coffs Harbour Golf Club can't not overturn this. It's got to
change the bylaw or something.
It's got to happen.
Yeah.
There'd be one bloke. There'd be one bloke standing in the way of this. Who knows who it is?
Who knows?
There'd be one person. Anyway, let's move on. Hey, you've played Colonial. It would have suited you, that course, back in the day. But
I love Colonial.
But after the winning putt was dropped last year, they basically were ripping up tees and greens as that putt was being holed.
Pretty much within about 12 hours, I think it was.
Yeah.
Emiliano Grillo won.
Grillo.
Grillo or Grillo?
Grillo.
Yeah. Okay, sorry.
That's how it's spelled anyway. You might be right.
Schauffele.
Yeah, you might be right with the pronunciation. That's how it's spelled. Anyway, what did you think? I mean, I've always loved the golf course. I've always loved the tradition. I've been there a couple of times, and you get in the clubhouse and
got the Hogan room.
There is history dripping off the walls. It is beautiful to watch. I think they've got Ben Hogan's stuff set up there as well as there in Shady Oaks, which is also a golf course in Fort Worth.
Yeah, it was always a fun course because it was never long, which suited me. There were certain courses like Hilton Head, Colonial, Memorial, those sorts of places which aren't that long, where you can work the ball around. One of my first rounds I played there in the tournament was with Corey Paven, and he was one of the best shapers of a golf ball that you could ever see. So I just watched what Corey did. And
he won a Colonial. I remember him with that crazy-looking jacket on. When
they got the Wall of Champions there next to the first tee. A lot of great tradition there, but as you said, they dug the golf course up pretty much within a day of the previous year's tournament. And how they got it to this standard within 12 months is ridiculous. The members haven't even played the course yet. The pros are the first people to play the golf course. Gil Hance was the man behind all the renovations. And the members really wanted to keep or to have the tournament again there because they hold the longest running tournament on the PGA Tour that's held at the same golf course. They hold the record because I think it's been there since 1946.
That's right, before the Masters. Yeah. So they've got one on the Masters.
Yeah. So how they got it to that condition is really impressive. The course was firm. It played tough that final day. If you shot under par, I mean, you really golfed your ball very, very well. So
I looked at the greens, and the pure distinction that was first put down at Peninsula Kingswood here in Victoria, and since then Victoria Golf Club have taken it, and so have Los Angeles Country Club have taken it, and so have Southern Hills, where they've played a couple major. They've all got. So I called.
Did they do it?
My source.
Okay.
Over there, Kevin Youngblood. And I got him to ask Scotty Scheffler's. I got him to ask a few questions about Scotty Scheffler. So stay tuned.
You can't give away your source's name.
I apologise.
Okay.
Anyway, I asked whether they're pure distinction. They're not. So the fairways were. I was wondering whether it was a Zoysia grass as well. Last week they put the new Xeon Zoysia down, which is drought resistant. Keeps its green.
Zoysia. It's a great name.
Have you ever played on it? I've never played on it. What did you think?
It's very soft. It's a bit Bermuda-ish, but it doesn't act like Bermuda. It's not as. I didn't think it was as grainy, and just a lovely grass to play out of. Okay,
because I know that at Augusta they used to have a cooch base, and then they had the ryegrass growing out, but they changed it to a Zoysia base, and then the ryegrass coming out. Zoysia. Then last week at Rory McIlroy's win, they were playing off a new Zoysia, Xeon Zoysia. And I was absolutely certain that this was going to be Zoysia as well. So I was thinking, if they're all using this grass, I wonder which course is going to be the first course in Australia to actually get a Xeon Zoysia grass going, because it is drought resistant. It does keep its green when other golf courses are going dormant, is what they are saying. And wouldn't that be great, because right now, where are we, May? I know probably in other states it's been a little bit warmer than what it's been in Victoria, but our golf courses in Victoria on the Sandbelt are just starting to get to the point now where they're starting to paint the fairways green.
Right.
Because, all the ovals are gone. But if the Zoysia grass, if it's as good as what it looks and keeps its green and doesn't roll as far, because that's one of the issues with the Sandbelt golf courses and probably golf courses right around the country. In winter, if you've got good drainage and your golf course is built on sand, when the fairways go dormant, the ball runs 60 metres and really shortens these golf courses. But if the
I don't find that as a problem. I like that.
If the Zoysia grass is there, and it doesn't, because I think once the fairways go dormant, I always feel like you've got to dig it out of because you're getting these really tight lies. I have trouble sweeping it off the really tight lies. So I end up taking bigger divots in winter than I do in summer. So I wonder whether that could be an answer down the track, or if someone's got a bit of an opportunity. And the greens, they weren't
what did you
pure
think
distinction.
Of them?
Well, I think that is new. I think you could just see the players didn't know where the ball was rolling. And
any time you play on greens you've never played on, it's very hard to read.
Yeah, that's right. And you could tell the roller's probably been going back and forth, trying to get them. I'm not sure that's always the best thing. I think slowly but surely they get their smoothness, and top dressing brings back the smoothness and all that kind of stuff. But it wasn't pure distinction. How about this name? 007 Bent.
Oh, yeah, I know the 007.
Oh, is it good?
Again, I think so. I have a feeling Mount Lawley Golf Club might have put 007 in.
Okay.
I'll have to check that because I think they were tossing up between that and the Pure Distinction a little while ago when OCM has done all their renovation. So let me double check that one.
Okay, because it's interesting because the Pencross A1, which is what Augusta's got, it's what most of the other golf courses around the Sandbelt have still got, who haven't converted to Pure Distinction yet. They're a little bit patchy. And what that does is it actually helps you read the greens. When you're hitting the golf ball into the net, and what do you call that? And you can play a golf course, like you can play any golf course.
The simulator.
The simulator. When it's time to putt on the simulator, the grid comes up.
Okay.
And you can see break because of the grid.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they reckon that when the greens are a little bit patchy, like A1 Pencross, when they're a little bit patchy, that helps you actually read the greens because they are. You can see the grid. But the 007 and the Pure Distinction, because they're so perfect, they're harder to read. Does that make sense in your head?
Yeah, I guess so. That probably. Maybe it's harder to see the slopes, I'm guessing. Yeah, that sounds probably about right. I love to see sweeping slopes. So the hardest greens to read, I find, are the flattest because you're looking for slope and you can't see it. So you actually need some sort of definition and contour to be able to read it. But you know what really impressed me about the event was Scotty Scheffler. He got off to a really rough start on Thursday. He had like a stretch where he was 5 over with a triple bogey at one stage. But he was 7 shots behind the leader going into the weekend, and he was still the favourite to win the golf tournament. 7 shots.
and third round, by the way, he was 7 shots behind and found himself in the last group after his Saturday.
That was his, and he was 4 shots, I think, behind Davis Riley going into the final. But we'll get to that in the Ping Global results.
Just while we're talking about that, Blandy had a win.
Yes.
Well done, Blandy, you mongrel.
Richard,
but you beat 2
Blandy's
of our...
okay.
He's a great bloke. I got to play with him a couple of times.
Yeah.
Gee, he played so bad when I played with him. I played with him twice, and he was hopeless.
He's a grinder.
Yeah.
I mean, he won his first tournament in Europe when he was 48.
Yeah,
I think it was.
Yeah, that's right. Well,
now he's on the Live Tour.
Yeah. Well, he was so bad they were pairing him with me. Yeah, that's how bad you got to be.
Get the late tee times.
So I got to play with Blandy a couple of times when he came down, and I've got to say he was not impressive.
Okay.
Unimpressive. He was an unimpressive player. But for him to get to where he is at the moment, to win it at 48, and now he's won a major in
seniors golf.
Incredible.
He didn't get the exemption, though, because he is on the Live Tour.
So he got the invitation.
PGA of America is different from PGA Tour, so different bodies here. So he got the invitation, and it was great to see someone like Cameron Percy get an invitation as well, and Greg Chalmers was out there playing. Yeah. So they hand out invitations as they please, and really, when you look at it, Richard Bland, the golf he's been playing since he went to Live, he's been playing some good golf. So you could say he's one of the best over 50 golfers in the world.
Oh, I think he is.
Yeah.
I think
Steve Alker, I think, is probably the best.
Yeah, Steve Alker would tell him.
Give him a run for his money.
But Blandy, it's been an incredible late summer in his... in his career, he's somehow pushed the sun back up, and he's going one more time, and he's making more money than he's ever made before in his life. And
good luck.
Signed up on Live, so he's sorted himself out there.
But I don't really care because the guys that finish second and third, they're the ones we want to talk about.
Yeah, it's a couple of Australian left-handers.
Yeah,
Richard Green and Snake Chalmers.
Have you ever seen in the top 3 2 lefties? I don't think I ever have at a golf tournament.
I've never seen that before in my life. I'm trying to think.
No.
I mean, was Bubba Watson and Phil Mickelson close in Augusta? I don't think so.
Don't think so. No, very strange. But Greg Chalmers had the lead with 4 holes to go.
Yeah.
Blandy made an eagle on the par 5 15th to jump one ahead.
Yeah.
Chalmers didn't, and then unfortunately He made 3 bogeys coming in, but Blandy ended up winning by 3 from Greenie, who had made 2 eagles on the back 9.
Ridiculous.
Oh, I saw one of them.
One was a hole out.
I know. Has his swing got a little flatter?
Yes.
It looks very flat.
I noticed that as well.
Yeah.
And I reckon it's only got flatter since he's been over there. Cause
Maybe.
I remember him, like you were commentating when he won a seniors event, the New South Wales Open.
Yes.
I think it might have been. Were you commentating that week?
It was one of those, yeah.
Yeah. And he was swinging it as good as I've ever seen him swing the golf club. He's always had one of the best left-handed golf swings ever in my book. It's absolutely pure.
Putting stroke too.
Yes, he had one of the purest putting strokes of all time.
Yeah.
But I have been watching his golf swing when he's been on the telly, and it does look incredibly flat. Not kind of Matt Kuchar flat, but a hell of a lot flatter.
Yes, very flat. No, Matt's more upright than Greenie, for sure. But it's obviously working. He's having a good season.
You didn't have a flat swing.
Mine changed.
Yeah, well,
I was very much a feel player, so it went very upright for a while. Then it was more... I guess you'd say standard, and every now and then I'd lay it off, and then I'd get across the line. I was all over the shop. So,
right.
Yeah.
It didn't matter.
Well,
in the hitting area.
It was all feels for me. I felt everything through my right arm, weirdly, being a left-handed golfer, because I'm one-hand right-hand as a person. I throw a ball right-handed. So I feel everything through my right arm. Don't feel anything in my left arm when I swing a golf club, which is very unusual.
The left arm's just hanging on.
It's just hanging on for the ride.
Just a passenger.
Yeah. My old coach used to say, I feel this in your left arm. I said, Neil, I can't feel that. I just don't know what you're talking about. So
that is amazing.
Yeah. Well, you don't find that with yours? Are you
my left arm is a full-on passenger.
Well, exactly. Your right hand is your dominant one, so you feel everything through your right arm.
Yeah, I know, but that's my trail arm.
Yes.
Is the one that's working.
Well,
but your trail arm is the passenger.
See, that's why I think I have an advantage in golf, because I think your top hand should be your dominant hand. Right?
See, I think that in putting. I reckon you
No. Well, that's my bottom hand in putting, because that's what's leading now, because I'm right-handed.
Yeah, so I think you've lost your advantage in putting.
No, I think I've gained it again.
Do you really?
I think it's the opposite in putting.
Isn't that it's an amazing game.
We all
golf,
think about the game differently.
It is an amazing game.
Yeah.
It's funny because Bernard Langer, who has got a swing that you kind of cringe when you watch him play. It's repetitive, but you cringe. He has swung with his left arm his whole life. Now, I read that not long ago.
With his left arm.
His left arm, he feels like his left arm goes up and he pulls his left arm down. That's what he does.
Top hand dominant. He may be a one-hand left-hand guy.
Maybe.
He may throw the ball left-handed.
Maybe. But you can actually see, you can see the control at the top doesn't seem to be there, but it doesn't seem to matter.
No.
He just drags the club through with his left arm. So that's what you were doing too. You were dragging it through with your right arm.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway.
Now, we got a voicemail.
Oh, we did. The sound went off a second ago.
Yeah, okay.
You have one new voicemail. New message.
Chris from Melbourne here. I just wanted to quickly buy in on the Cape Wickham versus Royal Melbourne conversation. And I have been over to King Island and played, I think we played 3 rounds at Cape Wickham and loved it. We had a couple of shitty days and we had a really, really lovely day, and it was a great golf course. But for me to make an educated comparison, I think I'd need to play Royal Melbourne, as I've yet to get out there. I'd need a hand to get out into Royal Melbourne, so I thought, well, what a better way to do it than for all of us to go out and have a round at Royal Melbourne. So you guys tee it up, get in touch, let me know, and I'll see you out on the first tee. Thanks, guys.
That's a bit cheeky, Chris.
I love the way he's thinking. I love it.
How can we facilitate that? Is it like I sent you the flyover of Pine Valley? Is there a flyover of Royal Melbourne?
I don't know.
Oh, there should be.
There needs to be.
There's got to be.
We should ask Gary Lisbon, because he's taken a lot of photos of it out there, so he might have something.
Yeah. So Gary Lisbon would be a good person for Golf Digest to put on their panel.
He probably is. I think he already is.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
See, but he might look at it from differently, because he might be looking at what is the most spectacular in what he does, which is take photos.
Don't know. Anyway.
You have a think about that.
Okay.
I'll see if I can organise a little pig in a blanket for you, Sunningdale style.
Thank you.
And I'll see you on the 10th tee.
Thanks for listening to Talk Birdie to Me, and if you're up for it, we'd love you to subscribe, rate and share the podcast wherever you listen. And thanks to our great partners who make the show possible, Ping, they'll help you play your best, Watch My Numbers, the most powerful database golf app in the world, and the Golf Clearance Outlet, They beat everyone's prices. Now, back to Nick O'Hearn and Mark Allen.
Okay, Doc. I've thought long and hard about this top five. This was actually quite tough. Once I got into looking at it's the top five in honour of Greg Chalmers and Richard Green, who came second and third in the Seniors PGA Championship. I thought it was time to have a look at our greatest ever Australian left-handed golfers.
Wow!
And believe me, a bit of chunk of my time has got into this because there aren't many. There aren't many ones worthy of note.
Well, I can think of one.
Well, all right.
Top five.
So at number 5, this kid's new on the scene. He looks a little bit like Clark Kent, but I've put him at number 5 because of the potential. I'm a believer in Laurie Flynn.
Oh, yeah, I like the way you're thinking there.
Yeah. I like Laurie Flynn.
He looks very impressive.
He's at number 5. At number 4, we all know the name, and we are waiting for the explosion of Elvis Smiley into our lives as golf watchers.
Yep.
I suspect it's going to be on the DP World Tour, so we'll all be able to see him on Thursday and Friday nights. I'm not so sure he's going to be wearing the blue suede FootJoys on Sunday. I'm not sure that's his go yet. But one day, Elvis Smiley, hopefully, will be wearing those blue suede FootJoys on Sunday.
Beautiful.
At number 3, he's a superstar on Twitter these days. He's big news in America, and I'm talking about Greg Snake Chalmers.
Oh, yeah.
Who almost won a major last week.
Yeah, he's led going into the final round.
Yeah, that's right. At number 2, it's getting pointy. We're getting to the pointy end here. But I had to make a decision.
Oh, jeez. This could go pear-shaped.
And I've put Richard Green.
Oh.
I've put Richard Green at number 2.
Thank God for that.
He's won the Dubai Desert Classic. He's represented Australia. He's done an awful lot. And now
playing well this year.
He's come second in a major as well. And number 1.
Drum roll.
I've got to say this. Personality has gone a long way into my thinking. I think it's important that the personality is something to do with it. Because I'm not talking about just golf. You know, if it was just golf, it may well be a different list. But I think this encompasses it. If you watch Jerry Maguire, you know, the Quan, it's everything goes into this.
Sure.
Okay. And my number 1 left-handed Australian golfer, Russell Swanson. Because he is such a good bloke.
Yeah, totally agree.
He is such a good bloke, Nick. He's one of the best blokes, and he's a great rules official.
Yeah, he does it well.
And when you think of the Quan,
brilliant.
He sits at number 1 very, very comfortably.
Hang on.
Very good.
Hang on.
I like it.
What are you talking about?
You've taken this very well, Nick.
That's all good with me.
Jeez.
I'm playing right-handed these days anyway.
That's right. You're a right-hander.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
There we go. That makes sense then. Now, we had an email this week from Stephen Loader. He's a PGA member and he's at the Rich Rivers Golf Club, director of the Rich Rivers Golf Club. He wants to comment on your discussion around the importance of the top 100 to golf clubs.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So
Well, this will be interesting hearing this from Clubland.
yeah. Let's give him a call.
Hello.
Stephen Loader, it's Mark Allen and Nick O'Hearn.
Afternoon, guys. How we going?
Yeah, we're very well. How's Rich River looking?
Yeah, this time of year probably can't get any better. We've had no rain, so that's really good for us.
Now, Stephen, we have been talking about the top 100 list Golf Digests in the last couple of weeks, and you've certainly got a view on this, we believe.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess we're a resort facility, yes, for want of a better word, a members and visitor facility. And one of the key things for us is if you're a stay-and-play golfer and you look inside that top 100 and you don't see our facility and you see other facilities that are competing with us, there's going to be some questions about, okay, why have they gone outside the top 100? And they may look at your competitor and go, well, let's go there because they're well and truly inside that top 100. So I'm not saying it's a massive part of our operation, but it's probably 20% of your golfers or more would think like that. Stay and play golf is a huge part of operation up in this part of the world. So that top 100 is very important. for those, as well as the bottom end where you've got your Barnboogles and your Royal Melbournes and all those kind of places. So
yeah, it certainly is, Steve. The stay and play, I love that as well. That's always a good thing. You play in the afternoon, stay, a bit of dinner, play in the morning, and maybe on your way to the next place. Now, where do you actually sit in the top 100? I haven't looked this one up.
I think 68, I think, off the top of my head.
Oh, nice. And is that an improvement from last year, or have you gone the other way?
I think that is a slight, that is a slight improvement. And you go back about 3 years ago, and 4 years ago, we'd slipped outside the top 100. So,
what did that do to your bottom line when you did slip out of the top 100? What happened? Was there a noticeable decline?
Yeah. So green fees had stagnated over that time. You've got an inability to raise your prices because your product's probably not to the same standard as your competitors. So, it's a bit of a vicious circle. You've got to, for the average golfer, if you can get your fairways and your greens in really good condition, that's going to tick a lot of boxes. Now, for us, we had an irrigation system that was 45 years old. It was just a patchwork quilt. So straight away, the improvement from that over the last couple of years gives you that ability. And if you look at some of the feedback we got from some of the people who came and rated the course, so people who came around and did that out of that top 100, that's kind of the feedback they kind of passed on, that holes were more playable, which is interesting because a lot of golf courses, they want to make them harder because they want to make them to a level standard, but they kind of forget there's a lot of golfers out there. They don't, when you guys were talking about Barnbougle and those places, they're great golf courses, and I love going there. But I'm like, I think it was Mark saying, I don't want to play them every day of the week. I want to play somewhere where I make a few pars and a few birdies. And
has the emergence of live golf, has that helped your bottom line at all? More people, more of, how can I put this? More of the live audience wanting to come up and play and stay and have fun and use all of your facilities. Has it helped?
I would say it's impacted both membership and bringing a different market. I see the driving range full of those sort of people now, who I would say are there for the entertainment value. You and I grew up on golf where we went to the golf, or you were playing, I was watching. You stand behind the rope, you don't touch the rope, you be quiet, you do all these kind of things. And I was lucky enough to filter through and become a professional and work in an industry. But the one difference I saw at Live was they were embracing kids making noise and having fun and doing all of that. So bit sidetracked to your question, but absolutely. I'll give you an example. I had a members introduction night 2 years ago, 2 weeks before the Australian Open, and we had about 12 or 14 new members there. So we go through the spiel that we always go through, showing them all the do's and don'ts and how you book in and all of that. And I just asked the question, I said, who's going to a golf tournament this year out of these new members? And 8 of them had already booked their tickets to Live. And the Australian Open was on in 2 weeks' time. Cam Smith was playing, just won the British Open, and I didn't have anyone going to that event. It was 2 hours from us.
That's amazing.
And the Live event was an 8-hour drive away. So, I think we should be celebrating the fact we've got 2 tours now. We've got 2 products. There's something different about it. So, yeah, long-winded answer, but absolutely I see it having an impact out there. And it's not for everyone. That's probably the thing I think we need to remember.
Stephen, you were saying in the message you sent us, you heard the guys talking about Sam Torrance last week, and you're a bit of a fan, right?
Yeah. So I was a good putter as a young guy, and then got a pretty bad case of the yips, and his putter kind of saved my life, really, as a golfer.
He was one of the first to use the long putters, wasn't he? And then Peter Senior came along and he used it. And I'm going to have to get up to Rich River because my brother lives at Rochester, which isn't far from there.
There you go.
I'm going to have to go up and have a game.
So, Steve, what sort of a deal you got for golfers who want to come up or down or across the Rich River?
If you get onto our website, we've got a fantastic winter deal. It's 16 degrees up here at the minute.
Beautiful.
The sun's shining, and that's right along all the Golf on the Murray courses. So get onto Golf on the Murray, and you can pick any one of your 7 favourite courses up this way and get out of the Melbourne weather.
Good on you, Stevie. Thanks so much. We really appreciate your time. We'll try and get out of the Melbourne weather and the Sydney weather and the Adelaide weather and everywhere else we go to. So
no worries.
Thanks for getting in touch with us. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Steve.
Thanks, boys. See you, mate.
Seems like a good bloke.
A lot of good blokes in golf.
Yeah, that's true.
A lot of good blokes in
golf.
He's
talking about fantastic winter deals up there. Do you know the other good deal going on at the moment? This golf clearance outlet.
Oh, it's a joke.
This golf clearance outlet membership club, GCO Live, they're giving away in this month, in May, closes May 31, 20 grand worth of golf gear. 20 grand.
20,000.
You join the clubs, $19 a year, and you're in the door for 20 grand worth of golf gear.
$19 a year.
It's pretty good.
$1 a month. $1.50 a month.
Only a couple of days left.
Okay.
Better get in there.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
That's the golfclearanceoutlet.com.au. Jump on, $19, and away you go.
I can hear that music just in the background.
All right.
Here it comes.
Settle down.
As good as ever. Okay, the Ping Global results this week. On the PGA Tour, they were playing the Charles Schwab Challenge at the newly renovated Colonial Country Club. What a golf course it is. Standing the test of time. Davis Riley had a 5-shot win over Keegan Bradley and Scotty Scheffler. Scheffler, playing in the last group, just didn't quite fire up, did he? He had a few bogeys early, came back with a couple of late birdies, but a great first individual win for Davis Riley.
So everyone's saying the first individual win. He must have won the teams along the way.
He won last year at the Zurich Classic with Nick Hardy. So, but Davis Riley, got to watch those. What is it? Two name first name guys.
Right.
I've got two sitting next to me right now. Mark Allen and Dan Bradley. Look out!
Hey mate, most of our best Australian golfers had two first names.
Really?
Greg Norman.
Okay. Yep.
David Graham.
Sure.
That's where it
Roger
stops.
Davis.
Roger. Well, sort of.
Peter Thompson.
Peter Thompson.
Peter Thompson. Sort of.
No, Thompson's the last name.
But
Greg
Mark
Norman.
Allen. You know.
Mark Allen.
You say there's no one called Thompson as a first name?
I don't think so.
I reckon there is. Well, you keep going.
Could be anyway.
No, I don't think so.
All right, of the Australasians, Adam Scott tied for 12th. Good result for him.
Adam Scott.
Adam Scott. Sorry, what am I saying?
Yeah.
Jeez. Thank you for getting me there. But he needs to play some good golf right now because he's going to miss out on that major streak that he's on. I think he played around 91 or 92 consecutive majors.
Longest consecutive streak going at the moment.
He was 62 in the world going into the Colonial. And there was a May 20 cutoff. Top 60 gets you into the US Open. So hopefully there's another cutoff before the next one because that should shift him just inside the top 60 again, I imagine. Minwoo Lee had a good chance but struggled on the last day, tied for 24th. Ryan Fox tied for 32nd and Cam Davis tied for 56th. Champions Tour, they had the Senior PGA Championship. As we mentioned, Richard Bland closed with an 8-under par 64 for a 3-shot win.
You bugger. It's a lot of score he shot all year.
It is impressive.
Honestly.
Yeah.
To beat two Aussies.
Yeah, Richard Green, 2 back 9 eagles for a 66. And Greg Chalmers finished in 3rd. He was the 3rd round leader. Funnily enough, Richard Green was the 1st round leader. So those guys were up there the whole way.
Did you watch Greg on Twitter? Just quickly.
I haven't recently, no.
Okay, so
what did he say?
At the last major, Jason Day's team were tweeting out what he was going to be wearing Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Greg Chalmers did like little stick figures of what he was wearing on Sunday. It was very funny.
That's perfect. He's good.
Very funny.
Yeah. And the other thing was, almost skipped it over it, but Scott Henn tied for 4th.
Yeah.
So we had Aussies at 2, 3 and 4. Incredible.
We didn't even mention him.
I know. What are we thinking?
Good on you, Hendy.
Yeah, well done, Hendy. Tied for 14th was Stuart Appleby. Michael Wright tied 17th and Cam Percy tied for 21st. So we had 6 players in the top 25.
Jeez.
Just incredible. They were in Belgium on the DP World Tour for the Soudal Open, and your favourite name on the tour over there, Spain's Nacho Elvira, had a 1-shot win over 3 players, and New Zealand's Sam Jones, he was the best of the Australasians. He was the first round leader, shot a 62 actually, but he finished tied for 7th, so that's a good result for the lefty. And of the other Aussies that made the cut, Jason Scrivener tied for 48th, and Dave Micheluzzi tied for 57th.
What about the West Australian kid?
Hayden Barron missed the cut, unfortunately. So
not enough Australians playing on the DP World Tour. That's going to be fixed. We need a dozen in every week, not 3.
On the Ladies European Tour, they're at the Jabra Ladies Open in France, and Switzerland's Morgan Mautreau took an 8-shot lead into the final round.
And cantered home.
Well, she didn't blow it, but she had a 3-shot lead. So, sorry, a 3-shot win in the end.
How close did it get?
Even past 72.
Did it get down to 1 or 2?
I'm not sure how close it got, but 8-shot lead, you'd be feeling pretty good. Yeah, what would be a good lead for you going to the final
15.
Round? Double figures, it has to be, right? And then you think, I'm pretty safe no matter what.
I'd be right.
Okay. Momoka Kabori tied for 5th. And another good result there for the New Zealander, and Kirsten Rudgley tied for 27th. On the Corn Ferry Tour, history was created. Remember last week how I said Harry Higgs hold that shot on the last hole to get into a playoff, hold that shot for eagle? Well, he's the first player ever to win back-to-back playoffs on the Corn Ferry Tour. He won on the second playoff hole with an eagle, beating Frankie Cappan the third.
Another eagle.
Yeah, another eagle to close it out.
God. So he got an eagle last week to get into the playoff to win, and this week he wins with an eagle in a playoff. 30-footer,
not bad at all. So Harry Higgs, that's back-to-back, pretty much guarantees his PGA Tour card for next season. So he's a character, and good to see him doing well. Rain Gibson, really good week for him. Best of the Aussies, tied for 3rd, closed with a 4-under 66, and Dimi Papadatos, the other Aussie to make the cut, tied for 64th. In Japan, the Mizuno Open, where Japan's Ryosuke Kinoshita.
Nice.
2-shot win over South Korea's Guntak Ko. I'm getting better. I'm getting them out here. I'm doing okay.
So impressive.
Yeah.
I haven't even had a glass of red or anything.
I think I need a glass of Shadowfax. That'd really do me well. Okay. Anyway, best of the Aussies, or Australasians, because Michael Hendry is a Kiwi, tied for 28th. Brad Kennedy tied for 35th. And they also had another major going on, but it was the LPGA Senior PGA Championship. So not the Women's PGA, but the Senior Women's PGA.
So the PGA of America had 2 going at once?
Basically, yeah. This one was in Utah. And Angela Stanford had a 3-shot win over Christy Kerr, so a really good field.
Christy Kerr.
Very good players.
She told me off once, Christy Kerr.
Really?
Yeah, I was commentating for Channel 10, and she was here at the Australian, what was it called? Not the Australian Masters, it was called the, whatever the tournament was on the Gold Coast. Anyway, she was the big star, and I was pushed down to follow her, and she was making a few practice swings, and I am so far away from her. I wasn't standing behind her.
Right.
I'm like in the rough. I'm in the trees.
Did you say get on with it? Or?
Listen to the story.
Okay.
Anyway, she has made this backswing and then stared straight at me and gone, "Can you move to the side?" And I said to her, "I can't move any further left." All right. Anyway, then she went and complained to the tournament about my response.
Really? Okay.
I thought I was quite nice.
Yeah. Well,
in the end,
you do annoy a lot of people.
Yeah, that's true.
So it was the issue. She was in your kind of line of sight, sort of thing.
I was at a 45 degrees in her back in the rough.
A long way back.
A long way back.
That's ridiculous.
And she made a backswing, and you know how sometimes you follow the club. She was checking what the club was doing. She's seen me and asked me to move.
So it sounds as though your dream 3-ball would be Colin Montgomery and Christy Kerr. Is that what you're saying?
Well, let me just put it this way. I don't like Christy Kerr very much at all. I'm just going to leave it at that.
Well, you'll be happy to know she was runner-up. She finished 3 strokes behind Angela Stanford.
Can I ask you, Mark, if you were to do, for example, hypothetically here, a top 5 biggest arsehole female golfers in the world, where would Christy rank?
She's number 1.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
Number 1,
there.
comfortably.
He went there. All right. Anyway, best of the Aussies, and the only Aussie playing was Karen Pearce, tied for 22nd.
Okay.
This week we've got the Women's US Open on.
Yeah. Where are they playing?
Nellie called it. They're in Pennsylvania at a course called Lancaster.
Okay.
I don't know it, but I might put a little bit of side action on Hannah Green. She's playing well.
She's playing
she
great.
might want a bit of payback after losing to Nellie a couple of weeks ago.
I'm with you there. I think that's a smart bet.
Anyway, that's our Ping Global result.
Plenty of it this week, and a few questions for you to get your thinking caps on for as well. Question from Rowan. Hey guys, great pod. I love listening to you in the car. It's very specific. Back to the top 100 debate. You said that you were surprised at the level of golfer at one of the clubs who was on the panel, level of golfers at one of the clubs on the panel. Whilst I agree the panel should have industry people and elite golfers, is it not good for debate and balance to have all levels of golfers on the panel? There's many weekend hackers out there that still have an opinion on what makes a great course.
No, is my answer.
Well, yeah, you got him before me. I think when it comes to rating the golf courses, that means so much, given we spoke to Steve Loader earlier about the bottom line and things like that. For those sorts of courses, you want experts in their field. That's my short take on it.
The other thing is too, when you've developed as a golfer, and I'm not saying you have to be a pro or an elite amateur, just around single figures or even 12, if you get the 12, because you've gone the whole way. So when I started playing golf, I was shooting 120. So I know what it's like to be a bad golfer on a good golf course. You want to know, if you do the ratings in the right spirit, then you do look for, is this golf course okay for everyone to play? And that's in the back of your mind. But I think you need to have a level of expertise in golf to understand everything about why a golf course is very good.
In the last 48 hours, we've seen the New South Wales and Queensland State of Origin teams announced. Now, we've all got an opinion on it, but we're not choosing the team. The coaches have been coaching this for the last 30 years, have chosen those teams.
That's exactly right.
That's a good point.
We have a message from Laird here. Hey, guys, just listen to the pod. There is a list by Golf Australia's magazine of Australia's top 100 public access courses, which I think you mentioned last week too.
There is. Yes, there is.
Golf Ballbusters, which is a great name, has written in. Nick, once you play Cape Wickham, I think you'll understand it's a little hard to judge it until you've seen it. I was lucky enough to play it with a one-club wind, and I played it 3 times. For me, easily number 1 in Australia.
Wow. Okay. Well, I can't wait to get down and have a look at it.
Yep.
And I'll give you my opinion there.
Yeah, yes. Just for scope, my friends at Kingston Heath who went down last weekend, they got 2 really bad days and 1 beautiful day. The beautiful day was at Cape Wickham, and they all enjoyed the course, and it's a very, very good golf course.
Beautiful.
But it's not number 1.
Okay.
Chris Rodriguez, great masterclass last week. Marco, your pronunciation of Xander's name sounds like me trying to order at Bistro Gatan.
Yeah, it's not good. I'm no Nico.
No, you had it. You had the souffle, chauffle. Just got to remember that.
It still came out awkwardly.
It's okay.
Danny's written in. Yeah. Danny has said, for the listener looking for good courses in northern New South Wales, Byron Bay is fantastic, which I think we did have last week as well. Yeah. It's always a good course.
What about Coffs Harbour? Oh, sorry, I'll leave that alone. Sorry.
It has gone to... Coffs Harbour's great unless you're 11.
Yeah, unless you're an 11-year-old girl playing off 30.
In which case, it's not...
With a really good swing.
It's not great. He said, Byron Bay's gone to another level in the last 20 years. The other hidden gem is Mawullumba, a great course to play in a beautiful setting.
Oh, there we go.
Mawullumba.
Yeah, okay. It's just south of the Gold Coast. This is actually a little old one. Remember a while ago we were talking about Brooks Koepka not having the logo on his.
Yeah, that's right.
He's
the only player on his live team not wearing the live outfit.
Yeah. So Reese has said, in relation to Brooks not wearing the team logo, I think this was a pre-existing requirement from Nike that he have no other logo on his shirt. It's quite a regular thing with Nike tennis players. Lee Na, for example. She had a Mercedes logo, and she was one of the only exceptions from every other Nike tennis player on the tour.
Is that right?
Interesting.
Yeah. Nike's it's head to toe, isn't it, with a lot of their players? So
I think so.
If you wear our swish, that's it.
And there were rumours of Nike taking the team, as in
that's
it'll be the Nike Live team.
Yeah, and the Callaway team and a few other bits and pieces.
That was a rumour. I'm not sure if it's...
That's all right.
Going to happen or not.
Hey, mate, there's space for rumours on this podcast. We deal in rumours.
Nothing wrong with that. Evan Gale has said, Odyssey should have given Scotty Scheffler a jailbird putter to use after he got out. They missed a marketing opportunity.
What are they thinking?
Yeah.
Jeez.
I saw some pictures. Some people would have loved to have seen him in like Ricky Fowler orange for the jumpsuit he had on.
My source over there, apparently JT and also Spieth and all the boys have a WhatsApp group. His picture was quickly changed to his mugshot in their WhatsApp group.
Very funny. Tim Clark agrees with you guys last week talking about Sam Torrance. Definitely one of the best commentators in golf, has the game, the knowledge, the delivery, and the guts to call out a poor shot.
Yes.
According to Tim.
Yes, that's right. He's very good.
Mark Plum listened to our bonus pod on Ian Baker Finch last week. I don't personally know him, but from all accounts, a true gentleman and a gentle man. I did and do follow his putting advice, even down to his grip. I also have the Steve Bann golf video, mainly because he coached Appleby at that time.
Yeah, there you go. Here's another one for our list. Just get Finchy on.
Oh, for sure.
Talk about his life in golf from the lessons with Peter Thompson, how he went from really high to really low to then winning a to be leading a British Open at St Andrews, standing on the first tee with Tom Watson in the last round.
1984.
That's it. To then winning and then to commentary. I think it'd be an amazing chat. And talking through, what he went through mentally as well with the driver.
Yeah, well, you can bring that one up.
So that's your job.
Well, it's interesting. If he hadn't won in 1984, if he had have won, we never would have seen that iconic pose by Seve on the last green. So in a way, we have to thank Finchy for that.
Got to thank Finchy. How come that Seve pose isn't the
logo.
DP World Tour logo?
I don't know.
What are they thinking?
It is iconic. And by the way, if you haven't heard the Steve Bann bonus pod, that is a cracking listen. He was fantastic.
He's a good bloke.
It was really, really good. Harry Vergler has written in, what a great pod. Wondering if you can explain the common pay structure between a tour pro and a coach. For example, a caddy, as I understand, gets 7% and 10% for 7% a week and 10% for a win. But does the coach get a win percentage or a fee for a tournament or an hourly rate? I'd love your views. Really enjoy listening each week.
I'll go first. I used to give my coach a sling. So if I ever finished top 10, he would get a 10% sling. That's how I did.
Oh, that's nice.
That was it.
Yeah,
that was
okay.
it. I didn't have to give that sling too often, by the way. but they that's what I did for Dale Lynch.
Yeah, I think it comes down to the player and the coach and whatever arrangement they want to.
So there's no standard.
No, there is no standard. The caddies is the 10%. I think it's gone to 8%, maybe now, or 7%, and then it used to be 10, 7.5, and 5. And what I mean by that is 10 for the win, 7.5 for a top 10, 5 for making the cut for the caddy. Yeah. Now it's
plus
probably
their wage,
plus the wage,
yeah.
And then, like in Wilbur's example, I used to give him a bonus at the end of the year, depending on how well we've done and things like that. But the coaches, it varies.
Cases of wine, different. Or was it cold hard cash out of that bonus?
Oh no, it was cold hard cash.
Yeah, okay, good.
Yeah. Another one from Harry, different Harry this one. Hey guys, thanks for putting out a fantastic pod each week. I really enjoy the discussion, the ping results and the golf tips. I'm fairly new to the game. I started playing 3 years ago when I turned 50 and I've started to watch the tournaments, but they go for so long. Who has the time to watch 10 hours of golf over 4 days? My question is, why do the PGA tournaments go for 4 days? The 3-day live format seems to provide closer finishes, leading to exciting playoff holes. And the shotgun start means I can watch it over 3 hours instead of the 8 to 10 hours the tournaments go for. So, why is a tournament a 4-day format? Is there a good reason? Why not 3 days? Or why not 1 day? Cheers, Harry.
It's a really good question. And the answer is because we want as many people playing as possible at the start to give as many people an opportunity to win. What we want to do on the weekend is have a smaller number of players. So a cut is very, very important if you're going to have as many people start the tournament as possible. So majors, for instance, the British Open, 156 players start. I would hate to see just 120 players start a British Open. I want to see as many people with a chance to win as possible. And that also brings the cut into play after 2 rounds. You couldn't have a cut after 1 round. You've got to have a cut after 2 rounds. And that is just another storyline for the tournament. I mean, it's fascinating to see players, in my view anyway, when they're on the cut line or a player making a double on the last who was in the cut line to now not make any money. It's a bit like promotion relegation. Some teams will go up and it keeps things interesting for the players down the bottom. So that's why 4 rounds are very, very important in golf. So you can have as many as possible start. You can have a cut that is fair, and then you get 2 days to play of the players who are playing the best.
Interesting. I'm glad you had an answer for it because I didn't. But you know what I read? I read somewhere recently, I don't know if you guys sent it to me, but apparently back in the day, 30-something years ago, Peter Thompson wrote something about this, and he actually said all tournaments should become 3-rounders and then have the majors as 4 rounds. Very interesting.
Yeah, I remember him writing that.
Yeah, I don't remember it. I just saw it recently, and I thought, that's an interesting point of view because a lot of people in the world of golf probably going, it probably should happen.
Yeah, I remember it. It was one of the silliest things Peter Thompson ever said. and I'm a Peter Thompson fan. I think he's the clearest thinking individual.
He's ahead of his time, I'll say that.
He was brilliant. And I interviewed him a couple of times when I was working at SEN.
Okay.
And his biggest thrill was beating Jack Nicklaus at the President's Cup at Royal Melbourne.
Oh, yeah, 98.
He'd also give away one of his British Opens to play 1 game with Carlton. I said, you're joking. He's a big Carlton. He's a Carlton supporter. I said, you are joking, Pete. He goes, no, I'd give one away, happily.
I wonder
to play 1 game for
I wonder which one.
Wow. Speaking of Peter Thompson, I did Google people with the first name Thompson.
And?
I couldn't find anyone.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Thompson Davis? No? Okay.
You mentioned earlier on about rumours and how you're happy to have a rumour from time to time. Would you like a juicy rumour?
I love rumours.
Okay, this has come from a guy called Carl Spackler.
You know who Carl Spackler is, don't you?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, absolutely, I do. I've seen that movie like 800 times.
Okay.
It's classic.
Yes.
Carl Spackler here. More intel from the maintenance shed regarding the Australian Open.
Love this.
Golf Australia don't have the... Now, we've got to separate ourselves from this, by the way. This is Carl talking, not us, right?
Okay.
Golf Australia don't have the funding to put on a big event this year, hence the delay in announcement. Golf Australia want a sponsor for the event. BMW want to sponsor the event, but they've said to Golf Australia that needs to be at a particular level or they will not sponsor it, and Golf Australia can't fund the increase in the event spend. It's kind of like dealing with the pesky mole on the course. Hit them straight.
Pesky mole. I think it's a gopher, Carl. Forgive me, Sandy, if I'm wrong, but if we kill all the golfers on the golf, he'll lock me up and throw away the key.
Yes.
Golfers!
Anyway, that's a rumour from Carl Spackler.
Thank you. Well done, Dan. It is time for this week's Masterclass.
Actually, I've got a quick update before we get into the masterclass. You were talking earlier about the pure distinction and the 007.
Yes.
So I just had a little message from my brother as we're recording, asking him. He says 007 at the Mount Lawley Golf Club.
Oh, there we go.
So I'll have to find out how they're playing, and I've heard from some of the members saying they're really good, but I haven't been over there yet and played them myself, so I'll have to have a look.
I want to know if they're harder to read. The members will know. Are they harder to read because there's no patches?
Okay, any other questions you'd like me to ask?
That'll do.
Maybe we'll get some on the feedback next week.
Well, this masterclass, thanks to Frank and the team at Watch My Numbers, play smarter and use your data.
All right. Well, this masterclass, Mark, you mentioned earlier about the winter and the summer and hitting off the grass and the differences there. It kind of got me thinking a bit because I was watching Davis Riley. I keep saying Riley Davis for some reason, but Davis Riley. And I think Jonathan Yarwood put out a video on his X profile of him hitting an iron shot and how he maintained the angles, but how he came down into the ball was beautiful. And I see a lot of amateur golfers out there when they're trying to hit irons, they almost swing at it like they're using a driver. And in golf, we have two different swings. We have a driver swing and we have an iron swing. The driver swing, we've got to hit the ball on the up, tee it up, get under it, launch. That's what we're after. Put less spin on the ball. Now with the irons, obviously to get the ball up in the air, we need to hit down. It's a game of opposites golf. So the difference in the technique is a little different. The ball position is going to be back a touch more. The shoulders are going to be a little bit more level. You're going to stay more centered on the ball and compress and hit down into the ball to get the ball to fly through the air. And there is no greater example of that, I thought, in the Colonial tournament than Davis Riley when he hit out of the divot on the 17th hole, his second last hole. He had a 3-shot lead at that stage, maybe 4, I'm not sure. Pivotal shot. And they did a real good close-up of how he compressed the ball, came down into it, maintained the angles in the body. That's really important. I think in iron swings, you want to maintain that upper body angle. If you stand up on it, like you may get away with a driver, you won't get away with it in your irons. So I'm going to do a little masterclass, post it on socials, and show you the difference between the two.
Beautiful.
And masterclass is for Watch My Numbers. Now, we had an email a little while ago from Anthony Lewis, who listens to the pod, and he downloaded the app, the Watch My Numbers app, and he was having a couple of little difficulties on a couple of little areas. So he reached out to us, and we passed it on to Frank. Just wanted to update you guys. Frank from Watch My Numbers reached out to me. To say he was helpful is an understatement. We spent considerable time talking over the last few days. He's helped me immensely. I gave him some comments, as I did find some of the app a little bit tricky, and some of it is. Once you get your hang of it, it's a little easier. Once you understand it all, it's a fantastic tool that I will continue to use and enjoy. Thanks again. I love the app, and I really appreciated Frank's support and assistance. It was first class. I am converted. Keep up the podcasts. I love them.
Beauty.
P.S. Mark, can you knock on James' door and ask him when and where the Australian Open is this year?
Yes. Well, I did knock on James's door, but I've made a few inquiries, and it's still up in the air. So it's as simple as that.
Maybe next week.
Maybe.
Well, next week it'll be
June.
Ooh. It's got to be coming soon.
So
yeah.
we need to know.
I've seen a framework for the schedule for the first half of the year. They've got the dates slotted in there, and I've seen where the other tournaments are. So just need to find that venue.
Fingers crossed.
Yes.
Fingers crossed. I know it's it's tough. I know it's easy to criticise, but look, they're obviously going through something they don't they didn't envision this time last year, and unfortunately it's knocking on their doorstep. So hopefully they get it all sorted out. Good to see you, boys. And watch out for, when's Todd Woodbridge coming in? Is he coming in next?
He is.
Okay.
We'll do that on Thursday. We'll have that up on Thursday.
Thursday, perfect.
Have we been keeping a Wimbledon champion, like he's won a million of them? Have we been keeping him waiting out the front?
He can wait, don't worry. He's probably sleeping in because he's doing the French Open at the moment.
See you, boys.
Cheers.
And thanks for listening to Talk Birdie to Me. We appreciate you listening and getting involved. And a huge thanks to our fantastic partners. Without them, the show just wouldn't be the same. Watch my numbers. Download the app and turn your bogeys into birdies by analysing and improving your game like never before. The Golf Clearance Outlet. Awesome prices on great gear. You can see them in Melbourne, Sydney, Brizzy, Perth, and online at golfclearanceoutlet.com.au. And Ping. See your local golf shop or professional to arrange a Ping Club fitting. They'll help you play your best. If Ping's good enough for Nick O'Hearn, well, that says it all. And we'd love you to get involved with the show. You can leave a voicemail with any comments or questions at talkbirdie2me.com.au, or send an email or comment on the socials. And if you can share the pod with a friend, well, we'd love that. Talk Birdie to Me's executive producer is Dan Bradley at Kaizen Media. Sound design, Daryl Misson at loudzebra.com. Ox and Marco, a couple of great mates with a fun podcast. And occasionally, well, let's just say, it can get a little sexy.
No, it wasn't my first pash.
Okay.
It was my first...
Early.
Emotional pash. Or the first one with feelings. In the back of a laser.
Right.
Little Ford laser gear it was too. So it had, it had the velour seats.
First pash, I was 11 years old.
Oh, here we go. 11?
11 years old.
I didn't even know I had anything at 11.
And I was on a cricket pitch.
Oh.
in Box Hill.
Don't tell me you bowled her over.
No.
Ox and Marco's Couple of Blokes podcast. Lots of fun, plenty of banter, and even the odd bit of romance. There's a new episode every Wednesday. Just search Couple of Blokes wherever you get your podcasts.